This is Divorce Court, presided over by Judge William Keene. In the case we'll be seeing today, Joseph Flannery is suing Erica Flannery, his wife of 1 year, for divorce on the grounds of adultery and mental cruelty. Mrs. Flannery is countersuing on the same grounds.
All right, Flannery versus Flannery. Mr. Levine, do you desire to make an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor. Erica Flannery seduced her husband away from the priesthood and then convinced him to marry her, saying they would use her fortune to help the underprivileged. But as soon as she had wedded and bedded him, for her the marriage was over. So she went on to other men, cruelly taunting him with her infidelities. Your Honor, Mr. Flannery asks that you grant this divorce on the grounds of adultery and mental cruelty.
Thank you. Mr. Rymer, do you desire to make an opening statement?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. Thank you. In this case, I represent Erica Flannery, a wealthy yet loving woman who's been betrayed and victimized by Joseph Flannery. Under the guise of priesthood, this man deceived my client into believing he was a man of morals. Unfortunately, once he was married, Joseph Flannery abused the relationship, purchasing jewelry, cars, and clothing, while sexually entertaining others outside the marriage. Your Honor, for these reasons, we request a divorce on the grounds of adultery and mental cruelty, and we respectfully request that Joseph Flannery be denied any share of Erica Flannery's assets. Thank you.
Mr. Levine, call your first witness, please.
I call Joseph Flannery to the stand.
Step forward, please.
The plaintiff, Joseph Flannery, an ex-priest, is about to testify. He's charging his wife with adultery and mental cruelty. He says she seduced him away from his church and then morally and emotionally abandoned the ideals that he believed were sacred to both of them.
What is that you're carrying?
Your Honor, it's today's missile.
All right, let's proceed.
How did you meet your wife?
I was on vacation in Rome, sightseeing. I was outside the Castel Sant'Angelo when I saw a young woman sitting on a bench crying as if her heart were going to break. I went to her to see if I could help, and when she looked up at me, something happened. She caught me with those eyes.
Were you wearing your priest collar and coat at the time?
No, my order doesn't insist on that. I told Erica that I was a priest that afternoon when she made it obvious what direction her interest was taking.
And how did she respond to that news?
She said she hoped that we could still be friends. We both were alone in Rome, so we started spending a lot of time with each other sightseeing. But I thought Erica was sincere about our just being friends, but it was all part of a challenge to get me in bed with her.
Say.
So,
what is so bad about this? Are you ashamed of anything?
yes, I am ashamed. I'm ashamed of being seduced away from the church, of falling in love with Erica. God's love has always been enough for me, but it happened. I fell in love with her and I married her.
Did you make love to your wife before your marriage?
No. I told her that it takes quite a woman to seduce a priest away from God. She was thrilled by that. She told everyone. It became the ultimate challenge to get me in bed with her.
After your marriage, what was your life like with Erica?
First, it was a good relationship. I found a relationship with a woman could be a beautiful thing. But still, I couldn't help but looking back on the life I'd left behind. I felt as though I'd deserted God. But she convinced me that I could still do God's work even though I was no longer a priest. So we were going to start a foundation.
Did you use any of your wife's money towards your goals?
The day we were married, she gave me a check for $100,000 to start the foundation. She said, well, a month later, after the thrill of seducing a priest was over, she made it clear she never intended to use a penny more of her money to help the poor. She said that I was a fool to think that she would give away her fortune to a bunch of disgusting sewer rats that the world would be better off without.
Yes. Did you have any proof of your wife's infidelities?
Yes. I'd find her in bed with men all the time. She didn't care. She took some sadistic pleasure in torturing me.
Why did you wait so long to file for your divorce?
Divorce is not allowed by my faith. I left the priesthood for Erica. I certainly wasn't going to give her up. I tried to save her. But one night I came home and I found her in bed having sex with a man. She said, maybe Maybe I could learn something by watching them. She hurt me so bad that I wanted to strike her. But I wasn't going to give up on her like that. I told her I was leaving. And all I want to do is salvage whatever pride that I have left and make peace with God again.
Thank you. No more questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Flannery, you testified that your wife gave you a check for $100,000 to start a foundation. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that is right, but not a penny more.
Mr. Flannery, there's no record of you ever having set up a foundation in either your name or your wife's name. Now, how is that?
It wasn't that type of foundation. I gave the money to the poor, all in cash gifts.
Didn't you use your wife's money to purchase a $60,000 sports car?
No, Erica bought that for me. I never even drove it. All that money for a car when all over the world people are suffering.
Mr. Flannery, you were seen several times going into the Love Club, a nightclub notorious for live sex acts and illicit drug usage. Now, what were you doing there?
I went there once. I'll never go again. I went there to see what the other side of humanity was like. And I was appalled.
Miss Flannery, your wife saw you picking up prostitutes on Grand Street, downtown. Now, were they the recipients of these cash gifts?
No. I wanted to convert them. I paid them for their time. And I told them about God.
Weren't you the one who tried to make your wife have sex with other men so you could watch?
Certainly not.
I have no
She
further
wanted me
questions,
to,
Your Honor.
but I refused.
All right, Miss Flannery, you may step down. Call your next witness.
While Joseph Flannery leaves the stand, we have time for a break. We return now to divorce court. Mr. Darren Williams is about to testify on behalf of Joseph Flannery.
Mr. Levine.
How did you become acquainted with Mrs. Flannery?
Well, I don't know if acquainted is the right word. I met her because I always delivered groceries to her house.
Yeah, and how did Mrs. Flannery treat you?
Well, at first, she was very rude to me. Then one afternoon, she opened the door wearing nothing but a flimsy nightgown. She invited me in to have a drink.
And what did you do?
Look at her. What do you think? I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was in the house 10 minutes before she had me and had my clothes down and around my ankles.
And how did this interlude end?
Well, her husband walked into the room. I didn't even know the lady was married. He was there the whole time. He just stood there and looked at us. You know, I never felt so bad about anything in my life. And I'll never forget the look on his face. She just laughed and told him to stick around and see how a real stud did it. I just felt like I just wanted to hit her for treating him the way she did, but I just got out of there as fast as I could.
Thank you. No more questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Williams, are you still employed by the grocery store?
No, they fired me. She called them and said that I attacked her.
And didn't other women call the store to complain that you attacked them, too?
Yeah, maybe, but a lot of older chicks try to come on to me, but when I turn them down, they get mad.
Are you a close friend of Mr. Flannery's now?
What are you talking about? His wife and I were on the couch together. I'm lucky he didn't kill me.
Mr. Williams, haven't you been accompanying Mr. Flannery to the Love Club lately?
No.
Didn't the two of you attend a costume party at the Love Club dressed as a devil and an angel?
No way. I haven't even seen the guy again
I have no
until
further
today.
questions, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Williams, you may step down. Anything further now from the plaintiff?
The plaintiff rests, Your Honor.
Mr. Rymer, call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please call Erica Flannery to the stand.
Mrs. Flannery, step forward.
About to testify is the defendant, Erica Flannery. Her husband has charged her with adultery and mental cruelty, claiming that she brought her lovers to their home engaging in sexual encounters in front of him. She will rebut these charges. She is countersuing on grounds of adultery and mental cruelty.
All right, let's proceed with this witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Miss Flannery, when did Mr. Flannery first tell you that he was a priest?
It's about a week after we met. He apologized for taking so long to tell me, but he said that he was trying to fight the feelings that he had for me. But he said he couldn't, and that he loved me and that he wanted to leave the church and marry me. Well, I had fallen in love with Joseph that first day, and I had no idea that he was a priest. I mean, we'd made love together for a whole week before that.
Now, would it have changed things in the beginning if you had known?
Oh, of course it would have. I mean, I would have run in the opposite direction. There's no way that I could take on the responsibility of someone giving up that kind of a commitment.
Now, did your husband ask you for money in the beginning of your relationship?
Yes. He asked me for $100,000. We had discussed previously about setting up some charitable organizations because in the past I'd given large contributions to various charities, mostly those concerned with children. So I was glad to give him the money.
Well, did he use the money for this purpose?
No. The day after I gave him the check, he came home with a brand new sports car. He said that he wanted to have a little fun after years of being deprived.
Did you believe your husband?
Well, at first I let it go, yes. But then, well, he stopped coming home at night. And I followed him to the Love Club. And I saw him pick up one of the performers there, and they were dancing together, and they were doing poppers, which is a drug. And they had a $100 bottle of champagne sitting on their table. And then I watched him take that woman to a hotel. And I waited outside for them all night long. And they both came out in the morning with their arms around each other.
Now, Mrs. Flannery, what was your sexual relationship with your husband like?
Joseph's mind was filled with perversions. He seemed to only enjoy sex if it involved some horrible kinkiness. He was the one that wanted me to have sex with his friends while he watched. And when I refused, he went and got a satisfaction elsewhere.
So what did you do about all this?
Well, at first, what could I do? I mean, I was so confused, and I went to a doctor, a psychiatrist, to get some help. And when I told the doctor what had happened, he said that he wanted to talk to Joseph immediately. Well, I went to Joseph, and I asked him to get some help. I begged him to. But he refused. And it only seemed to make things worse. And then the next day is when...
Please, try to go on.
The next day, Joseph was home. And he brought that man, Mr. Williams, home with him. And he said he wanted me to have sex with him while he watched. Oh, God, I was terrified. So I ran out of the house to a friend's house. It was about a week later when I found out that Joseph had filed for divorce.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Levine, cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Weren't you engaged to be married to another priest 2 years before you even met Mr. Flannery?
Yes, but
Didn't he desert you on the day you were to be married?
Well, yes, but I don't see
Didn't it then become a matter of personal pride for you to seduce a man away from the priesthood?
That's ridiculous. I didn't even know Joseph was a priest until after I met him.
I see. Tell me, are you in the habit of inviting total strangers to spend the night with you as you did when you met Mr. Flannery?
No. I trusted Joseph. He was so kind.
Oh, Mrs. Flannery, didn't you offer your husband $100,000 as a bribe to keep this case from ever coming to court?
No, that's a lie.
Don't you get all your money from a trust fund set up by your family?
Yes.
So, didn't you attempt to bribe your husband because you knew your family would cut you off if they heard about your sordid sexual practices?
That is a lie. There was no bribe. He's tricked me.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Your Honor, that's not fair. He's not telling the truth.
All right, Miss Flannery, I understand your testimony. You may step down. Call your next witness,
While
Mr. Rymer.
Erica Flannery leaves the stand, we have time for a short break. We return now to divorce court. About to testify in behalf of Erica Flannery is Mrs. Emma Carlisle, a paleontologist.
Mr. Rymer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Miss Carlisle, do you know Mr. Flannery?
Unfortunately, yes, but I know him as Michael O'Leary.
And how did you meet Mr. Flannery? Or Mr. O'Leary?
Well, 3 years ago, I was working in the Brazilian jungle, and my daughter wrote me a letter and said that she was getting married, and would I fly in for the wedding? And, of course, I flew back to Chicago. When I met Michael, or whatever he calls himself now, he told me that he had been a priest, and naturally, I was quite shocked. But he said he loved my daughter, and that they convinced me that they would be happy.
And were they?
Well, you must understand that I wasn't there. I soon flew back to the jungle to finish my work. And but Sarah wrote to me all the time. And suddenly her letters became very depressed. In fact, they were so depressed that I began to worry about her. So as soon as I could get away, I flew back to the States to see if I could be of any help.
And what did you find when you got here?
I arrived in time for my daughter's funeral. I found out that she had committed suicide. I was destroyed. The only hell on earth is when a parent outlives a beloved child.
Was Mr. Flannery as distraught as you were?
Distraught? He'd gone. He was vanished with every penny of my daughter's bank account.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Mrs. Carlyle, are you positive that Joseph Flannery and Michael O'Leary are the same man?
Of course. I wouldn't make a mistake like that.
What color was Mr. O'Leary's hair?
Blonde, but people dye their hair.
And what color were his eyes?
Brown.
My client's eyes are blue.
But Mr. O'Leary wore contact lenses. Maybe they were tinted.
So this blonde-haired, brown-eyed man named Michael O'Leary miraculously turns into a dark-haired, blue-eyed man named Joseph Flannery.
I know it's him. If you don't believe me, here's the wedding picture. Why, that man murdered my daughter as sure as if he'd given it the pills himself.
Your Honor, I ask that the last remark be stricken, and the photograph hasn't even been entered into evidence.
All right, the last remark is stricken.
Your Honor, I haven't seen the photograph. May I approach?
You may.
Here.
Your Honor, we'd like this photograph marked as Defense Exhibit A and entered into evidence.
All right, let me see the photograph. It'll be marked for identification as Exhibit A for the defendant. All right, anything further this witness now?
No, Your Honor, no
you
more
may step
questions.
down. Anything further now from the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. In light of Ms. Carlyle's testimony, I'd like to recall Mr. Flannery to the stand for further cross-examination.
All right, return to the
The
witness
plaintiff,
stand,
Joseph Flannery, has just been recalled for further examination by his wife's attorney. Erica Flannery's witness, Mrs. Emma Carlyle, claims that Mr. Flannery was married to her daughter 3 years ago under a different name.
All right, let's proceed with this witness.
Mr. Flannery, were you ever married before?
No, I was a priest before I met Erica.
Well, then how do you explain this picture of you that Mrs. Carlyle's daughter's had?
I don't know.
Show him the picture.
Certainly, Your Honor. Let me read you a letter written by Sarah
Wait a minute.
Carlyle.
There's resemblance, but this is not me.
Mr. Flannery, let me read you a letter written by Sarah Carlyle. It says, Sarah, it takes quite a woman to seduce a priest away from God. Now, isn't that the same line that you dropped upon Erica?
Yes, but it's just a coincidence. I told you I never met Mrs. Carlyle's daughter before.
Mr. Flannery, suppose I told you there's no record of you ever having attended any seminary. How do you account for that?
St. Luke's had a fire in the administration building. They lost the records.
Where were you ordained a priest?
That, too, was at St. Luke's.
Mr. Flannery, isn't it truth that you've been posing as a priest to seduce wealthy women and take their fortunes?
No.
And then disappear?
No, that's a lie.
I
was a
questions,
priest.
Your Honor.
Erica took my...
All right, Mr. Flannery, let me see that picture again. Anything further of your client?
No, Your
All
Honor.
right, you may step down. Anything further now from the defendant?
Defense rests, Your Honor.
You may step down, Mr. Flannery. I'll hear closing arguments.
Thank you, Your Honor. The defense would have this court believe an hysterical woman so desperate to justify her daughter's suicide that she's willing to accuse an innocent man. And Mrs. Flannery did indeed seduce her husband away from the priesthood because of a personal vendetta. And we heard today how she taunted him and then tried to bribe him. Your Honor, in order for Mr. Flannery to do the good work that his wife prevented him from doing, we ask that you grant this divorce on the grounds of adultery and mental cruelty. And we also ask that you grant an award of 1/2 of her entire estate so that he can do the good work she prevented him from doing.
Mr. Rymer.
Thank you, Your Honor. The evidence clearly demonstrates that Mr. O'Leary, or Mr. Flannery, lied about being a priest. Obviously, this is his means of seducing rich young women. Your Honor, he married Erica Flannery for money, just as he did Mrs. Carlisle's daughter 3 years ago. He forced his wife into perverted sexual situations, using her money to finance nights out with prostitutes and strippers. For these reasons, Your Honor, we request a divorce on the grounds of adultery and mental cruelty. We respectfully request he be denied any part of Erica's assets. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel.
While Judge Keene considers his decision, we have time for a short break. We return now to divorce court, where Judge Keene is about to render his decision.
All right, I'm once again faced with outright conflicts in the testimony. These are not mere trivial discrepancies that do not go to any fundamental issues in the litigation, but they go to the very heart of this divorce action. Now, in determining the credibility of witnesses, I consider any matter that has a tendency and reason to prove or disprove the truthfulness of a witness. Now, the existence or non-existence of a fact testified about is critical in evaluating any witness's testimony. Mr. Flannery testified under oath that he is a priest, and all seminary records are burned. Mr. Flannery testified under oath that he has never been married before. And yet we have the testimony of his first mother-in-law, and in evidence, a picture of the previous wedding. He took $100,000 to set up some esoteric foundation, and there is no record of that foundation. And lo and behold, the money is gone, as well as the sports car. Mr. Flannery, your frock may have been a little longer then, but I'm satisfied that you and Michael O'Leary are one and the same. The marital assets in this case will go to Mrs. Flannery 100%. There will be no spousal support for Mr. Flannery. Mrs. Flannery's inheritance is her private property and is not subject to division in this litigation. Mr. Flannery, I suggest that whatever that book is that you have in your hand, that you stop holding it and you start reading it. The defendant will prepare the written judgment. The plaintiff will approve it as to form and content and submit it to this court for my signature within 30 days. This court stands in recess.
Divorce court is a dramatization based on cases and issues raised in the family courts of this nation. The jurisdiction is an amalgamation of the laws of all 50 states. Therefore, the laws in your community may differ. The cases are argued by attorneys and presided over by Judge William Keene. who served on the Superior Court of Los Angeles for 18 years.